art has been transforming me and helping me to find my true self in ways that I never could have expected. For a long time, something just felt missing from my life. I never felt like I fitted in anywhere. I was searching for meaning, for identity, for a way to express what was buried deep inside, and I found it in art. I think really, for me, the initial turning point was becoming Christian, changing my old ways, being more conscious of the way I was in life, and the energy I used to put into just pointless things, pointless pursuits in this world, I began to direct into more positive things and just general self-improvement and self-development. A key element of my life that I knew had to change was my old career path. It was just becoming soul draining and progressively worse with every passing year. Stuck in the corner of a room alone, working on my computer. I was just becoming just despondent with work and life in general, really. I kept working hard because, like I say, I became a Christian, and the way I saw it is I was working for God. I was working hard on my job, putting everything into it, as if I was working for God, not for a company or anything. But even then, nothing's appreciated, and in the end, everything just got outsourced after I was kind of fixing everything up myself after it had been outsourced, getting them all set up, and eventually, you know how it is, the bosses think, oh, everything's running smoothly now, we get rid of Tony now. So that was a turning point. I decided to make a change and started following the path towards my lifelong dream of pursuing a creative profession, becoming an artist, something I'd learned to just stuff down and not express for so many years, something that society and those closest to me had convinced me that it wasn't any more than a frivolous pursuit, the image of the starving artist in my head and all that. But when I think back, when I was a kid and stuff, all I ever wanted to do was draw. I had this like vivid imagination, and all I would do is draw and want to create stuff. And it's funny how when you're a kid that's kind of celebrated, isn't it? But then as soon as you start to get older, people convince you that it's just silly. But it's always been there. I've always had that desire to create, and I've always been quite an introvert, really. I can kind of just sort of be alone, deep in thought, contemplative, in this little internal world, really. But what I like about art is I can kind of, I think it's Monet with that quote, wasn't it? He wants the world to sort of see how he feels, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Just, I want to express myself that way. I want that internal world to be expressed externally, people to see what I'm feeling, and I think that's where a lot of it comes from. When I'm making art, it comes from like, it's like a passionate place. I have to be feeling what I'm painting and stuff, otherwise I can't really do it. It's a strange one. That's where it sort of comes from me, and for me, art goes much deeper than just the aesthetic beauty, creating something that's merely just pleasing to look at. But for me, art, it's been a vital part of me just discovering my true self, I think, and it's a journey that's taught me so much about myself, and I'm continuously learning and growing. I expect that to be a lifelong thing, and even this process right here, gathering my thoughts and sharing them on YouTube, it's even that in itself's a healing and transformative experience. And for me, it's all about that creative journey of self-discovery and just learning who we are in the process. And that's who we really are, not just the external mask that we so often put on for the world, but the real creative soul within each of us that we may have lost touch with, or along the way society's taught us to suppress rather than to express. And through art, I learned to just go with the flow, live in the moment and embrace imperfection. I stopped worrying so much about how others saw me, and I focused more on becoming in tune with myself and finding my true voice as an artist, just enjoying that process and the imperfections, just consistently showing up and developing as an artist and as a person. I know that's benefited me greatly. And again, I think it goes much deeper than just merely finding my own unique art style. I think that hidden part of being an artist that people don't often see, it's all the time that we spend deep in contemplation, considering concepts and ideas behind our artwork, and considering who we really are and what our art has to say to the world. And it's somewhere in the midst of that process, experimenting, exploring, being inquisitive, playing with lots of different materials without any expectations of the outcome. Somewhere in that playful, creative state, we find what makes us tick in our own authentic and unique artistic voice. Just remember to be kind and patient with yourself, and allow yourself time that you need to experience different styles and find what different media and stuff you like working with, what resonates with you. Consider what artists inspire you, and in the mix of all of that, you'll find your own ways of working that are uniquely you. So I'd love to know, have you ever felt lost and found yourself through creativity? It'd be great if you could share your story down below with us all in the comment section. And I appreciate that you've stuck around this far, watching right to the end. And here's another similar video on screen now, where I share my thoughts about overcoming self-sabotaging thoughts and beliefs, overcoming our own worst enemy. So if you did find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of future content like this. And I think that's all that's left to be said, really. Me and you, we're going to make it. Onwards.